Hey guys, it's Alberto speaking at Revengeance. I hope you're well. If you want to spend less time chasing salespeople, especially in COVID times where they work remotely, if you want to make less mistakes in sales and help your team make less mistakes, and you want to make sure that the new sales hires onboard quickly and minimize the risk of letting them go, then this session is for you. Let's go. Right. Okay. So, guys, I wanted to talk to you about one of the steps of our revenue builder session. So, if you remember the previous sessions, if you've been following this channel and the other videos in the channel, you will remember that so far we talk about some of the steps in our revenue builder program that take technology startups from erratic sales performance to predictable revenue engine and growing sales in 90 days or less. And so far we talked about what goals you need to have, how to structure your time to achieve them, what companies you need to focus on, and what your value proposition should be to raise interest and help them want to talk to you, how to qualify, how to show value by aligning your solutions to the problems and objectives that they have, how to agree on a plan where you and the prospect have mutual responsibilities to buy as opposed to you jumping through every hoop, how to uncover and show value to decision makers, and how to incorporate all of those concepts, the checklist, the sales checklist that I've been talking about, and the downloadable that we share for free, which I will again share in the comments of this video, and how we incorporate all of that into a process. And today we're going to be talking about how do we then take that from theory to practice by configuring all of these techniques, tips, checklists, process methodology that we've been talking about over the last few weeks into your CRM to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, that you can support your sales team in the best possible way, but also so that your team knows exactly what is it that they need to focus on week to progress the opportunities in the pipeline. So a little bit of context on why this is important. There we go. So some of the problems, yeah, if you find yourself chasing salespeople, and by the way, if you stick long enough, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna show you two things in this training. After we run through why this is important and the transformations that you will achieve by completing this step, by configuring all of this stuff into your CRM. So we're going to talk about a specific example that we worked on with a leading technology provider of CRM, sales enablement CRM. They're called Membrane, is one of our partners, and the business case that we built for one of our clients where we implemented all of these technologies into the Membrane CRM. So I'm going to talk to you about the actual impact and the actual cost that not having these concepts incorporated into your CRM and not enabling your salespeople properly could have into your organization. And you won't believe how much money you could be losing by not implementing this. And also, I will show you a couple of instances where we have configured CRM. So, i.e., we've done this in Membrane, we've done this in HubSpot. HubSpot is free, Membrane is paid. So, we're going to give you a couple of options for you to kind of see what's possible and what you could do to start incorporating these deals. This methodology and process into your day-to-day sales. So let's go. So configure CRM. If you're a manager, right, and you find that you are having to chase salespeople for an update of the status of the deal, if you really don't know what work they've been doing week on week to progress those opportunities and how to progress them, especially in pandemic times where those people work remotely. And I'm not just talking about a manager, I'm talking about a CEO who is also who also has a a sales team potentially, or even if it's just yourself selling. Uh, uh, this is important because you want to know that the activities that you do are going to be progressing the deal, and that you're going to be working those deals properly and doing the right things uh, to progress the deals. And unless this is embedded into your CRM, you are likely not to have a visibility and the necessary organization to know where those deals are, and what to do to progress them. Also, it's going to take longer to progress deals because, again, you don't have laser focus on the activities that you need to be doing week on week to progress those deals. And this could be dangerous because you could end up talking to the prospect about the same thing over and over, repeating yourself without adding value. And and ultimately, if you don't have a framework and you can't visualize this in a CRM, it's going to be really easy for you to kind of make mistakes. And this doesn't only apply for experienced or fully onboarded salespeople. This is also true for new, and it's especially true for new sales hires, because the onboarding is going to be longer because you don't know what to do with those deals to progress them, or how to do those things, and your manager won't know how to give you how to best support you, because they won't know what is it that you're focused on this week. And chances are, if they're in a tech startup, that they're going to be swamped with a million other things. And so the risk here becomes that more new sales hires might have to be let go because they're not making that progress, because they're not getting the support that they need, right? But there's also another side of the coin, where you could be improving the manager's productivity, where you know how to prevent deals from falling through the cracks, i.e., where you won't forget to do the things that are going to drive deals and move deals forward, where, because you're implementing and executing more efficiently and effectively, the length cycle will be reduced. The deal size could be increased because you're qualifying more effectively those opportunities, and ultimately there's going to be more win rates. Salespeople will be onboarded more quickly, and therefore you will have to let go less salespeople, which is unfair for both of you, because if you're a manager or a tech CEO with a new hire, you will invest a lot of time on onboarding those guys. And if you don't have this system and tools that we've been discussing, chances are that you're going to be providing ad hoc, trying to help these people ad hoc without being very effective anyway. So you'll end up working more time, more effort, and probably the results will be will not be there, right? And so hopefully by implementing this, we will have to let go less people, and it's going to be fair for you, because you're going to fair for the manager because you will get the ROI for the time that you invest, and also fair for the salesperson, the new salesperson, because they're being they're getting the tools that they need to progress deals, right, accordingly. So quickly check out here the status of what's going on. Right, sorry, I was just looking at questions just to see if anything was coming through. Cool, okay, so that's excellent. Now, I mentioned to you that I wanted to share one of a specific business case that we built with Membrane, one of our partners, to calculate the cost of not doing uh, each of these things. Yet the cost of not enabling salespeople and adding this enablement into a CRM, so that they achieve the benefits that they mentioned before. Spoiler alert: the amount of money that we calculated they would have wasted without this tool is pretty high, and it's pretty shocking. Yeah, but I wanted to kind of read. And by the way, this calculator that I'm going to share with you, it's made by an American company that specializes on building business case calculators, and the data and the methodology they use is very solid. Yeah, so I'm going to share with you the main assumptions that we made based on this client specific situation, i.e., you know number of salespeople, number of new salespeople, uh, how much you pay these people, and how much the average deal size is. And then you will see the logic behind uh, each one of those calculations, and hopefully you'll give me some feedback on whether you think that applies. So let's go. Right, so cost of not embedding sales processes and sales enablement into your CRM. Again, the cost calculated was 2.2 million over 3 years, and we made some assumptions there. Yeah, so some of the assumptions were the salary of the sales manager was about 120K. They had 4 people selling, one new sales hire. The average deal size was about 100K, and they calculated kind of that the salary of each salesperson would be about 50K. Now, maybe you pay more salary to your salesperson. Maybe you are to your salesperson. Maybe you pay more to your sales manager. Maybe you're a maybe you and this is quite important, right? So, and I want to explain this. So maybe you pay different amounts to salespeople. If you pay salespeople more money, obviously, then you will be losing more potentially by not implementing these concepts. If you pay more money to a sales manager, same concept applies. Now, if you're a technology CEO and you're acting as a manager, don't only calculate, don't think, obviously, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs, but don't think that because you don't have a manager, you are saving this money, right? Because indeed, your time as a CEO is best spent growing your company and scaling up. And ultimately, the cost that of dedicating your time to sales is potentially much higher, especially in the long run when you're trying to scale up, right? So let's check it out. Right. Okay. So first thing, improve sales managers' productivity. So as we talked about, so we're saying that typically managers need to be chasing salespeople. Where are the deals at? What are you doing this week? What is the next step? What have you done before? Why are you having that conversation next week? What are you trying to achieve there? What sort of support do you need? So if you think about the amount of hours that you have to kind of gauge where these meetings, what the objective, when this, so just meetings to talk about the pipeline. Yeah, how much time you spend doing that, or you should be spending doing that, and plus the time that you try and invest to prepare those calls, to support them in this call, to do post-mortem analysis of those calls and coaching. We're talking about a huge amount of time here, right? So the calculation, yeah, with one manager and a salary of 120K, they see a typical improvement of about 15%, and this is also reached as you see on over 3 years, right? So if you have 120K salary, the increase in productivity of that manager will bring you 9K on the first year, 13 on the second year, and 18 on the third year. And equally, if you don't have these systems, that's what's going to cost your business. So over 3 years, it could be about 40K or so, right? So let me know in the notes and comments if this is something that's resonating, or if you think that's different. What's your experience? Now, prevent deals from falling through the cracks. That's very interesting, right? So what we're saying here is that you have a deal, an average deal size, which is 100K, and you have 4 people selling. Because these people don't have a system, because they don't know what are the things that they need to be doing. So where those opportunities are and what is it that they need to do to progress those opportunities. What we're saying effectively is that they're going to make mistakes that will end up killing those deals. And by making mistakes, I don't mean just by screwing up in those conversations, but also by not having a clear objective and not really knowing where the opportunities are and what they need to do next to progress, or not having that visibility on your CRM, right? Because you could know. So been doing this for a while, and I know what to do to progress my deals, and I know where my deals are. But if I don't have that information in front of me in a CRM, and I don't know what I've done so far and what I need to do next and how prepared and so on, it's going to be likely that I will make mistakes anyway, right? If surgeons make mistakes that kill people, salespeople will make mistakes that kill deals too. So that's kind of the assumption. And if these mistakes with 4 salespeople cost you a couple of deals in year one, could save a couple of deals in year one, could save maybe 3 years in year two, and 4 in year three, because you will know exactly, kind of, the more you use these methodologies day in, day out on your CRM, it's likely that you will kind of learn how to use this, and the learning curve will be steep in the beginning, but then it'll kind of flow, and so we'll get into a mechanic of kind of knowing and seeing on your CRM the things that you need to do, and have the accountability in front of your manager and yourself to do those things, right? Because one thing is to know what you need to do, another thing is to do what you need to do, right? So that's the calculation right there. Another interesting metric is reduce sales cycle time. And again, those are the kind of estimators, the benefits, and the kind of, if you have 20 deals per year, right, with an average deal size of 100K, the idea here is that if you can progress these deals faster, then you'll invest less time per deal, and you will be able to work on more deals, right? Or invest that time doing prospecting, whatnot, right? So by having, again, this methodology in a CRM in front of you, you will kind of know, you will be able to do those things faster, because you have laser focus week on week of what the things you need to be doing are, right? Increase average deal size. Again, the methodology has different components, and one of the components of the methodology is kind of helping you qualify and extract business and personal value for the prospect. Yeah. So what's in it for them, and what's the financial return of investment for the company? So by implementing these value techniques, again, by having tools that help you see how to do that and when to do that, again, you'll do that more effectively. And therefore, same logic applies for win rate. Yeah. So combining those sales processes, the methodology, and hopefully your coaching, because you will know what your salespeople need to do, and how each week, what's the objective for each opportunity each week, and how you can best support them. You can kind of minimize those mistakes and execute on your sales strategy more flawlessly, i.e. this program that we've been building, and you will able to kind of help them to support them more efficiently in progressing those deals. And again, a couple of indicators on reduced failed ramp ups. Again, what tends to happen is, you hire someone, and then they jump on a bunch of calls, and then you try and help them, and then you maybe take over on the call, and then you sell for them, and then you tell them, hey, this is what they need to do, and they absorb 10% of the information that you give them. Yeah, they're overwhelmed. They're learning their ropes. They're learning the products. They're learning your processes, your methodology. They have a lot to learn, and also they need to do a lot of prospecting on the side. Is on for information overload, right? There's some statistics that claim that I think salespeople retain about 10% of the stuff that you teach them in training, and then they forget forever, right? And so by having these concepts, these processes, by helping them visualize the process, the steps that they need to take with each opportunity, they will be more likely to know what are the things they need to do, and to do those things more efficiently. And because this is on your CRM, these steps are on your CRM, and they kind of they know, they see the logic, and they see the path that they need to go through. They see all the steps that they need to complete to close the deal. Then it's more likely that they will do it. Yeah, they will understand it more, and hopefully you will they will start selling quicker. Yeah, that's what you want. Not only they'll start selling quicker, but with less supervision, because they have a way, they kind of know, they see there on your CRM where those opportunities are and what are the things that they need to be doing to progress them. And also, as a manager, you can also coach them on, okay, this is what we're going to need to, this is where these opportunities specifically, and this is the specific objective that we need to achieve this week. And then I'm going to help you prepare for it. I'm going to be on the call with you, either participating live or maybe on IM, giving you a hand, and then we'll debrief the call together, and then we'll gauge if we'll assess whether you have achieved the objective, completed the step, completed the checklist or not. Right. And last, speed up salesperson time to productivity. Again, same concepts. Kind of humble quota per month, and the typical improvement there would be by 2 months. Yeah. So again, by training salespeople more effectively, and helping them execute on these best practices, because they see it in the process, in the CRM and in the pipeline, they're bound to be more productive, get to productivity quicker, and therefore there will be less salespeople that will have to be let go. Right. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, some of the calculations. Again, the cost and the benefit is estimated to be about 2 million over 3 years. Now, you might be in a different situation, as I said before. You maybe pay less to your salespeople. Maybe you pay more. Maybe you have a shorter, a smaller average deal size, or a longer sales cycle. Maybe you already have sales enablement resources and people training them. The point is, if they don't understand the process and the methodology that they need to go through to close those deals, and if they don't reinforce that knowledge day in, day out, by having a crystal clear view of their pipeline and what are the things, where those opportunities stand and what they need to do to progress them, if you just train them, tell them, they will forget. They need to see it, and they need to work on it on a daily basis for those things to adhere, right? For practice makes the master, or something like that. It's the same. You get the point. You need to practice and implement it, so that that knowledge is embedded in their heads. Cool. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, what I wanted to show you is a couple of things. First, I wanted to share with you how we implemented this process into one of our clients. So you might remember from our conversations, hopefully you do by now, that we have a 4-step qualification checklist that contains a series of checklists and things that you need to do, right? There are 8 things that you need to do with a prospect. Is, so there is a process that you need to follow, a sales process, and that process incorporates different steps. Yeah, first step would be aligning problems and solutions, and then there are checklists such as, do you know their objectives, what problems are standing in the way, what solution do they envision will help them. So that's 3 checklists there. So in uncover value, there's a couple of checklists. Do they see that the cost is lower than the return of investment, and is there something in it for them? Access decision maker again has 3 more checklists. Do you know who the decision makers are? Can you access them, and are they on board? And then building the plan would be along the lines of, do you have mutually agreed steps with your prospects to evaluate your solution with dates and mutual responsibilities, and do you know when they're going to sign at the back of that plan? Yeah. And with one of our clients, this is the way in which they tweaked the process, right, with that process and methodology, and the templates and the knowledge that we provide. And this is what we want to do for you, right? So we divided the process into 4 stages, and one was the discovery, another one was solutions, then evaluations, then answer concerns. And then what you can see in there is the actual steps that you need to complete in each one of those stages. So for instance, in the beginning is confirm. First stage, discovery, would be confirm objectives, confirm problems, confirm solutions. In the solution stage, you will have uncover value, uncover power, everything that I mentioned before. But notice how they've also added some steps to the process that they know are key to them. And also notice how the probability increases. Yeah, so 22, 48, 85, 100% by completing each one of these checks. So for instance, if you confirm the objectives, you get 4% likelihood to close the deal. If you confirm problems, you get an extra 4%, and so on. And by doing this, by incorporating these concepts into your pipeline and into your CRM, not only will you know how to progress deals effectively, and how to support your team more effectively, but also forecasting will be more accurate because it's based on checklists, it's based on facts. Yeah. So this is what the process looked like to them. And then what we did also was to incorporate that into CRM. Yeah, and this was very kind of simple. So what we did is basically incorporate, and this is Membrane, by the way, the CRM. And what we did was to incorporate each one of these checklists into the CRM. Yeah, and this is pretty cool because this CRM also gives you sales enablement materials, right? It gives you, it helps you. It gives you a description of what is it that you need to do, and it shares with you, how to do those things, and it gives you very interesting information and sales enablement content and videos that you can add so that they know how to complete those steps. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you have a value of 100K for this deal, then the probability will kind of be added as you complete some of these steps. Yes, I'm not going to go into completing all of that right now, but when you complete these steps, the steps are going to get completed, the probability will increase, and therefore the actual value of the pipeline, right? And something even more interesting here is the fact that what is the next step that you need to complete. Yeah, what is it that you're going to be focusing on this week to increase the probability of closing that deal? And then you will know, what have you done last week or last to complete that step. So for instance, I created a task to schedule a meeting with my prospect, and then what is the next step, the next activity, which is going to be a meeting to discuss the client's objectives, right? So hopefully you get an idea how to do that. Membrane is paid, but also you can do that for free in HubSpot. And when you become a client, we provide those tools to you for free, right? I'm not gonna go into much detail because we're kind of running out of time here. But the point I'm trying to make is, uh, you don't need to pay uh, an expensive CRM if you don't want to realize the value and the benefits that we mentioned. Yeah, we could. If you want to pay for it, it's fantastic. It will definitely be worth your while. But also, you can start incorporating these things into free into HubSpot for free, or also you can even start using these concepts in spreadsheet, for instance, which isn't ideal. But the important thing is to kind of approach this checklist approach with things that you need to do to progress a deal, and by keeping count of the things that you've done to progress that deal is going to help you have more laser focus, and make sure that every week the right things are getting done to progress those deals, and that for new sales hires, that they know and learn that process much quicker, and also that you can support them and give them the best possible support as a manager, right? So hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I will also be sharing some of the tools and content that I talked about this week. If you want to know how much this could be costing your business, I'm going to build a calculator for this, a spreadsheet calculator. So let me know, hit me in the comments, and I'll be delighted to share that with you as well. Hopefully that's valuable. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one.